Okay guys, here we are with the quadratic formula approach. Say this is the problem that you had. You want to get everything to one side. So I'm going to subtract 1. Now if this was to solve any way that you wanted, you'd want to try to factor this, but it's not going to work. So remember, the quadratic formula is x equals, that's what you're solving for, negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Well, you might ask, like you did on Friday, well, what is a, b, and c? Remember, that comes from the standard form of the quadratic. So looking at ours, that's why we get it all on the same side, so we can line everything up. So notice I haven't done the equation yet. I'm just showing you what a, b, and c are. So what's in the spot of a? 7. What's in the spot of b? Take the sign with it, negative 13. What's in the spot of c? Negative 1. And it does help some people to write those numbers out, so they can just substitute in. So here we go into the formula. X equals negative b. So negative 13 is positive 13, plus or minus the square root of negative 13 squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2 times a. Alright, so here we go. So we got to do negative 13 squared. Remember, a negative squared is a positive, so that's going to be 169. Negative 4 times 7 times negative 1 is a positive 28, all divided by 14. I am going to run out of room. Alright, so here we go. We get 13 plus or minus the square root of 169 plus 28 is 197 divided by 14. And this is great. Technically, you're done. The only thing we have to check right now is, do any perfect squares go into 197? Whoa, come on. So I'm going to do 197 divided by, maybe you're screaming to me what the answer is. Oh, it's so blurry. 4 doesn't work. Does 9 work? Nope. What's the next perfect square? 16. Nope. I don't think 25. Of course, it's not going to work. 36 by chance? Nope. Eventually I will stop. 49 does not work. So what do you think, guys? It looks like 64. I don't think, oh God, what am I doing? I don't believe we have any number. That does not simplify. So your answers, remember there's 2 answers here. You do not need to write them, but I want you to realize you have 13 plus the square root of 197 over 14, and you also have 13 minus the square root of 197 over 14. All right, now say you did the whole thing out. All right, so you did out the quadratic formula, and you came out with x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 20 over 4. So I want to show you how to simplify this. Remember, any radical that has a perfect square in it, just like always, you need to simplify. So what perfect square goes into 20? You're going to tell me 4. All right, so here we go. This is just talking about how to simplify, because people get stuck on this. So what's the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so you're left with 2 root 5. So now, guys, that 4 in the denominator, it belongs to this and this. Here's why. Remember, in your numerator, you really have 2 plus or minus 2 root 5. Remember, when you break up a numerator, they each have a denominator when they're being added. Really, I hope that makes sense to you, how I'm showing this. So really, 2/4 is 1/2. And then we've done this before. You had your quiz on that last time. This becomes root 5 over 2. If you can leave it like that, if that made sense to you. Or here's another way you can look at what I just did. Okay, so this is a fine answer if you understand that process. You can say, hey, what do all these 1, 2, 3 numbers have in common? 2. So I have to divide everything by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I'll put that there for learning purposes. Remember, don't touch the radical 5. What's 2 divided by 2? 4. And these 2 are actually the same. So either way, you get the answer. I hope this is going to help you tonight, guys. I know this is a hard topic to be learning remotely, but a lot of you are doing really, really well with it. So pat yourself on the back. Keep sending those questions.